Hey, on
Cool.
behalf of myself and Tonitruale, man, thanks for coming in to spend a couple minutes with us. I Looked Out reissue out on Friday, January 17th. Features brand new rendition of Colorado coming out, well, today, here on Friday the 10th. Let's jump right into it. Talk to me a little bit about Colorado. This will now be the second collaboration you've done with Merce Lemon, just a month after the release of the acoustic rendition of Long Distance Driver with her featured on it. Tell us a little bit about the collaboration process with her and how the Colorado video came together.
That one was, I guess, let's see. Like, I went on a tour a couple weeks before we filmed that video, and I was trying to, like, relearn some of my older songs, like, adapt them for a solo performance setting. So that was one that I never felt like I knew how to play solo that well. Like, it never felt that right. So the arrangement is a little different, and I changed the tuning and stuff. So I found this cool, like, kind of minor key way to play the song. And yeah, and then we did a video for Long Distance Driver, and I happened to be in Pittsburgh for that time period. So we were just, like, collaborating a lot, me and Merce, and yeah, we decided to do another one that was more low-key, just, like, in her kitchen with some of her bandmates, and just, like, one microphone and stuff. And that's that version of Colorado, which there's no recording of it. Like, obviously Long Distance Driver is on the record now, the acoustic version, but this one will just be a video, I guess, for now.
It's I think in this great age of digital everything, complete access to everything, do you think that with the recent vinyl boom here in the late 10s and 20s, do you think that the music world's move to the physical media will become a mainstay for musicians and listeners again, or do you think it's just kind of a passing trend here these last couple of years?
I think it's here to stay. I don't see what people would go back to if they left vinyl behind, in terms of the options you have selling things at the merch table. And, like, there's nothing more profitable than vinyl, I guess, when you're, an artist trying to make some money off merch and have something that feels good selling. It's like you could sell tapes, but not for $30 or whatever, $25. So
I'll leave that to Urban Outfitters.
Right. Unless people suddenly start getting paid more for streaming, I don't see why vinyl would just be a trend or whatever.
And I think there's, like, a big push more for, I think, music. I don't know if music ownership is the right word for it, but I think that having that physical copy, I think, is starting to mean something to people again as well.
Totally. I mean, it's been so long of just having digital versions of things, and I think people are just sick of living in a digital world, They want something to hold. So,
dude, no, in that same vein, I think the burning question about this reissue is, why now? Almost 2.5 years after the initial release, been on tour a little bit, going on tour here at the end of the month. Why put it back out now?
I'm re-releasing it because my label was interested in helping me do that, and um, yeah, like I'm working with Canvas Back slash Transgressive now, so they have the resources to re-release it and to get it on vinyl and stuff. Which when the album came out, the wait for vinyl was like 2 years, so it didn't even cross my mind trying to like press it myself just based on the wait. Like I mean, it would have been, I would have gotten the vinyl in the last year or so if I really, ordered them around the time of my release. That's what I thought. Obviously the wait times now are like a couple months maybe for vinyl. It's very quick, but it wasn't really in the realm of possibility when I put the album out myself. So I just think it's, having access to more resources now, and people want the vinyl and stuff, and it just makes sense, I guess.
Gotta give the people what they want. Absolutely. Now, switching gears kind of a little bit here, not too terribly much, but we'll pivot slightly here. Now, as a native Vermonter, I'm sure you've probably seen and heard your fair share of Appalachian folk and a lot of bluegrass and stuff like that up that way. I know I have. I'm from down here in North Carolina. That comes up whether you want it to or not. With the rise of Americana and folk music here in the modern mainstream, with bands like, I almost said Still Woozy, not Still Woozy. It's like Big Thief and MJ Lenderman really, and Adrian Linker making a big breakout in the mainstream these last few years. Where do you see these styles of music heading in the future?
I think people will continue to be more. Here, one sec. All right, that's better.
Oh, yeah.
People will continue to be more curious about roots music, and like I don't exactly know why there's like I feel like there's a little revival of like what we think of as like Americana, like Neil Young inspired music and the band, and even like stuff from the 90s that's kind of roots inspired, like Jason Molina and Silver Jews and Bill Callahan and stuff. Like, I don't know what people are tapping into now about like what the reason is for that, but I don't really know. It's like, it feels like all like genres of the past are cool again. So it's hard to say like now people are inspired by the 90s. The next decade they'll be inspired by the 2000s. It's like, it feels like with the internet everything is so exponential, and trends and influences and stuff are all, people are just tapped into them from every decade all at once. And so I don't really know what it will look like in the future.
Do you think it's that desire to experience the past, or that desire for some form of nostalgia, that's going to continue to drive those genres maybe more into the limelight or out?
Yeah, I mean,
I know this is very existential for 9 a.m, but
I feel like Big Thief, for example, is a very original band, and they're tapping into like really weird folk shit from the 60s, and like their influences are definitely not in line with like what a lot of other people are inspired by right now. And so I think just as long as there's people who are really original and have strong opinions and tastes in music, then it could look like anything.
Well, like we mentioned earlier, you got 3 UK shows coming up this next week, 2 NYC shows here at the end of the month. What comes next? Can we expect a new tape, new single, new album? Just gonna float through it and see what happens day by day? What can we expect next from you?
Well, I got another album that's. Oh, thanks, Merce. I got another album that's coming out in this year. It's 2025, so this year.
Can you believe it? Golly.
So I think I'm going to London today actually to play these shows, and then when I come back, we're doing a few shows in New York, and then taking a couple months off, and then I'm not totally sure what the schedule looks like, but probably a lot of touring in the States and hopefully some Europe stuff.
All right. Beautiful. Well, like I said, man, 9 in the morning, quick and painless, 9:17 here. Get you in and out and on the road. I've got one last question for you. My favorite question I asked all my guests around the show, and that's what are you listening to right now?
Let's see. I'm listening to a lot of The Clash. I'm listening to a lot of solo Paul Westerberg stuff. Listening to a lot of Elvis Costello.
Amazing. You don't hear a lot of Westerberg or Costello anymore these days. That's amazing.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
I don't know. People forget. In this great digital world. Well, great.
Left
Thanks.
behind.
Like I said, man, that's all I had for you. Quick and painless. On behalf of myself and Tonitruale, man, thank you again for swinging on to spend a couple minutes of your time before you head on the road.
Thanks, dude. I really appreciate it.